The Arcane Season 2 soundtrack was released, or rather the list of musicians who will be part of it. I could go on and talk about which one is my favorite, however I will leave you at that. Based on my understanding on TikTok, people are quite happy with it. Another aspect which is probably interesting to talk about is why not Billie Eilish or Linkin Park? They could still be part of the show, and you might be thinking to yourself, why do I say that? Well, on Reddit a person posted 2 images with a track list, and every track had a name, but 2. And not only the name of the track is missing, but also the name of the artist, which means it could be that the song in question will be released as a single first, and then it will be added to the soundtrack. I am pretty sure they are going to release a music video similar to the one which they released for Season 1. And speaking of Season 1, the intro will have the same music made by Imagine Dragons. Besides all of this, they will announce additional artists and tracks in the coming weeks. I'm sure you can expect some big names to be revealed in the future. I also want to talk about this promotion they are doing between Arcane and Chupa Chups. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, however that's how I remember pronouncing it as a child, right? I'm also not sure which parts of the world have this candy, however as of right now, this promotion goes only for Portugal and Spain. As you can see, this is a promotion where you can get rewards in League of Legends. If you want to find out more, you can click on this button, and unless someone from these participating countries is completing the formula for you, there is no point in trying to do it yourself, because they are asking for a bunch of stuff which you are supposed to get in person, as in a receipt, then a photo of the receipt and a postal code, as you can see over here. Sure, there are 3 steps over here: buy the Chupa Chups, keep the receipt code or the receipt, and then you have to complete the formula up until this point in the year, so by the end of the year. I wonder if that's when the events related to Arcane will end, and of course I hope they are going to release something for my country as well. One last thing I want to talk about in this video is a map which was posted about a week ago by a Twitter account named Arcane in Detail. Now that account is magnificent because some of the things posted by this person are so interesting, and that person has a really good eye for interesting stuff, I have to say. So right now I'm going to have my eye out for cool stuff on this map, and it is the map of Piltover and the Undercity, Piltover and Zaun, however you wanna call it, right? And if it's hard to understand which is which, maybe because it is on a plane, you cannot see it in 3D, then you have to only read some of the text over here. You can see Vendor's Bar, which means this is Zaun, and that over there is Piltover. They are both separated by a bridge, and that's exactly how it is in the show. And now I'm going to try and free-for-all the entire map by starting to read the names, and I will say something about each one of them. First, I will start with Zaun, and I have to add a few things before I start. Zaun is built on multiple levels. I know it's a bit hard to convey that idea on this drawing, however let's try to figure it out. The upper level is right here, which is represented by the normal roads, which you can see in Piltover as well, right? So this is the representation of the upper level, and these ones over here, these crevices, are the fissures or the places through which the people of Zaun created their houses or their other levels, because, for example, Vendor's Bar is located on the lanes level. And that's based on my understanding because in Legends of Runeterra there is a card which is named Janna's Sunken Temple, and that's based on a level from Zaun which was sunken underwater because of a catastrophe. And that's the place where I believe Vi and Jinx will have their final fight, because you can see a statue made for Janna in that same location. So in this image we have Vendor's Bar, Vi's apartment, which is pretty close by, and Vi's apartment is part of the 2nd season because she will become a pit fighter, she will not feel welcomed in Piltover or Zaun, and Vendor's Bar will still be under Canberran control. Then this right here, the game arcade, is most likely the place where Milo lost against Powder in that shooting competition, and where you can also find that boxing machine. Then we have Four Sisters, Brewery, the Pump House, Hospice, which I thought it was some kind of hospital, however it's a combination between a hospital and a spirituality place. And finally, Sevika's headquarters. Previously I thought it was Sevika's barbecue, but it is Sevika's headquarters, which is somewhere higher up compared to the other levels from Zaun, and it is consistent with the idea that this is the location where the Canberrans are meeting in the show. And right here, it is called Sevika's headquarters, which probably means she was supposed to have a bigger role, or she will have a bigger role in the future. Maybe. I am also surprised we cannot see the prison, Stillwater, and also this location is not named. In the story, that location is pretty important because before the Hex Gate it was the main point for trading, right? It is called the Sun Gate and the ships would pass through it, right? As you can see over here, a representation and the ships going out of it. Moving on, we have something referenced in the show by Jace, I believe. I'm not sure if that's where they met, Silco and Jace. However, these are the walls on the left and right side. After that we have the Gold Way, which is a harbor most likely, and it is probably part of the Z comic where Zed and Shen go through. You can also see Jace's home and Victor's home, funny enough, very close to the science lab, which is also close to what will soon be the Hex Gate. Right now it is the airship dock. Leaving that aside, we can look at the council chamber because it will be a main location in the second season, mostly because it was exploded by Jinx. Close to it we have the Science Plaza, which I believe is the location where the Day of Progress happened. After that we have a clock tower, Caitlyn's home, Great Guild Hall, Arbor Botanica, which is most likely some kind of place for plants, right? And finally Medarda's Opera. This is the location where Jace and Mel Medarda talked about politics in general, and this is also where Jace found out that he cannot do everything he wants. That's all I wanted to say related to the map. Maybe I should have added a few more things, for example, in regards to Benzo and Echo. He seems like Echo's caretaker, like an adoptive father, similar to how Vander is to his kids, right? And well, I'm hopeful they are going to introduce Echo's parents, but probably not. And I'm saying that because it will be a very good way to showcase casually the way the Z-Drive works. And why is that? In the League lore, there is a very beautiful scene between Echo and his parents where he has a very nice moment with them, and to relive that moment he is using the Z-Drive over and over and over again until he falls asleep. The Z-Drive is a device which allows him to rewind time for a limited amount of time, right? So I think that would be a nice way to showcase the powers of the Z-Drive before Jinx dies and Echo rewinds time to save her. Yeah, that's gonna happen. Truth be told, I had a lot of fun making this video. Yes, I know I'm not as well versed as other people when it comes to the lore, however, I really wanted to talk about this map, and for sure in the future it will progress to a better state when it comes to ideas or facts related to the lore, but as of right now, I'm happy with what I came up with, right? And I decided to pair it up with other interesting ideas or things which are happening related to Arcane, and if people decide to watch further in the video, then they will have something I really wanted to do for the audience, right? Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. And finally, what can I say? Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it, then go on and watch all of my videos.